Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today I thought I'd go ahead and do a pretty highly requested video, to be completely honest. I didn't think that it was going to be, but a few people have actually asked me to make this type of video, so here it is. It is a drifting tutorial, how to drift on Forza Horizon 4. So hopefully this should help you guys a lot, especially for the people that are more new to the whole drifting thing. I honestly thought to myself before, which is a very weird and arrogant way of thinking about it, is how do people not know how to drift in this game? It's been so, like, I don't know why I thought about it like this, because obviously I've been drifting, I've been driving around, I've been playing video games, like racing games, for a long time. So obviously I would have some sort of knowledge or some sort of, you know, depth into how drifting works and how to actually drift in video games. I don't know why I thought about it like that, as if everybody was the same as me. But obviously for people that have just started, maybe this is their first game that they picked up, their first racing game. They want to learn how to drift. They want to know how to slide around in video games. Perfect. That is perfect. This is the perfect video for you. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy it. I've also watched some videos of people actually trying to drift in this game, and some people are actually really bad at it. There's no reason to feel like ashamed or whatever of being bad. Obviously, every single person that started off drifting in video games was terrible at the very beginning. So there's no reason for you to feel bad. This video is hopefully here to help you, at least in some way, shape, or form. So, why am I driving the Mustang? The Mustang was a very easy choice to, like, I mean, I chose a car that was very common, first of all. A car that anybody can use, and also I wanted to use something like this because, again, like I said, everybody can use this thing. It's very common to buy. It's also very cheap to buy, so anybody can start doing it. I've also upgraded this thing, so I'll show you guys real quick here. If I go into my cars, this thing has 616 horsepower. It weighs 938 kilos. It's got a decent amount of torque. It's a very good base for a car. Again, it's 46 grand. I think overall with everything, it's just slightly over 100 grand. Like, if you don't have this car at all, just buy it off the auction house. It's probably cheaper. If you find one of these off the auction house, it's probably very cheap to buy. So with a build like this, you could probably spend less than 100 grand and you have like a car to learn how to drift with. 100 grand in this game is not a lot of money. You legit could just get that in just wheel spins, just from playing the game normally. You can get it in wheel spins. It's very easy. Do a couple races, boom, you have 100 grand. It's very easy to get 100 grand. Also, once you've done all that, like I said, just so everybody can have the exact same car, I ended up, when going into the tuning setup, tune this thing a little bit. If I go into load setup, which is what you guys should do, and you go to search, you can either search my name, which is the same as my YouTube channel name, which is just DubsMB, or you can go to the description and type in L2D. So learn to drift. That is what I call my tune. Search it, go to search, and then there it is. Alright, if you guys want to download this, use it as the tune that I've used in this video. It is a rear-wheel drive tune for this thing. I'm not going to go ahead and show you guys how to drift all-wheel drive cars in this. There's no reason to. Once you learn how to drift rear-wheel drive, you'll very easily get the hang of drifting all-wheel drive. So, now, as I've done in previous drifting tutorial videos all the way back in Gran Turismo days, it's pretty much the exact same concept. I feel like it's the easiest way to learn how to drift. Go to a place, obviously, where it's fairly flat. Try to make it so it's not on dirt and it is on actual, like, you know, like tarmac or asphalt or whatever you guys want to call it. So just make sure it is on that and it's not on dirt when you're driving, because it's going to be a lot easier to slide around on dirt than it is on the actual road. But what you want to do is want to learn how, you know, drifting on the road actually helps with grip, right? So obviously, if you put race tires on a car, you'll have more grip, so you're gonna need more power, all that sort of stuff. If you have worse tires, you'll need less power. You'll learn all that eventually. But what you guys need to learn, if you're new to the game, you want to learn how to drift, what you guys are going to need to learn is how to control your car. That is the main and most important thing. Before anything else, before learning to tune your car, before learning anything like that, learn how to control your car. Starting off by turning off traction control. Turn off traction control, turn off assists. If you go to settings and you go into my difficulty settings or whatever, you guys will be able to see the assist that I have on right now. And all I have on is ABS, right? Traction control, stability control, every single game. Every game, it doesn't matter what it is, what type of game it is, it's always off. Always off. It's easier to learn how to drive cars in that game, to learn how to control the cars in that game, just by turning everything off. ABS you can have on, it doesn't really make that much of a difference, especially when you're learning to drift. It doesn't make that much of a difference if you keep ABS on at the moment. Steering, just keep it on normal unless you're playing with like a full-on wheel setup, and if you want to learn how to drift with a wheel, that is completely different to this video. I'm trying to give the everyday normal person a chance to be able to drift in this game. That's why I'm doing this whole setup on a controller and everything like that. Shifting. Start off with manual. Play with manual. I don't like drifting with manual with clutch with a controller. If I was playing with a wheel, then I would play with manual with clutch. I just don't like doing it with a controller. It's not really that necessary to have manual with clutch when you're playing on the controller for when you're drifting, but when you are playing on the wheel, I highly recommend doing it with a clutch because it's just better. Now, yeah, like I said, traction control, stability control, always off. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Even if you're doing just normal races, turn it all off. Just have it off. You learn how the game works, you learn how the mechanics and how the physics of the cars work. It's much better to start off playing a game with your controls off, or not controls, with your assists off, sorry. It's much better, like I said, just to learn how the cars and the physics work in that video game that you're playing. It doesn't matter if it's Forza, if it's Gran Turismo, if it's Need for Speed, whatever it is, turn it off. Learning to drift, you basically need to know a couple of things. First of all, you need to learn how to throttle control and also how to control your steering. So, now, like I said, if you're gonna go ahead and turn off all of your assists, it will make a lot of sense when I'm talking about something like this. So if you're going into a corner, right? Let me get to the end of the strip because I want to have a little bit of speed, right? You go into a corner, you start braking, right? You have your corner coming up, you shift down. Play with manual, by the way, first of all. Don't play with automatic. Please just play with manual. Learn how to shift and all that sort of stuff. If you're completely new to the game, just learn how to shift. Let's say you're going around the corner and then you put in a little bit too much power and your car starts to spin out, right? Instinctively, what you want to do, right? Instinctively, what you want to do is you want to steer away from the corner. So if your car starts to spin out, you steer away from the corner, obviously, to straighten your car back out again so it's driving in a straight line. So this is just, I don't know if it's like instinctively for everyone, but that's literally what you do. You just sort of drive, you try to position yourself so you drive back in a straight line. So if you go around, going around the corner, so if you do this, right, you can see it's straightening up just from me counter steering, right? Just by driving normally, you will end up sort of catching on some of these little techniques. So if you go around, right, go around this corner, you're going a bit too fast. If you counter steer, you straighten your car back up again, right? Very simple. Now, let's try to do this a little bit slower. Especially this area of the drag strip. If you want to do it, like, this is a very good place where this drag strip is on this side of the map. Just come over here. There's a lot of little like cones and everything where you could actually learn how to drift around. Start off with one of these rings over here. So if you go around, sort of simulate as if you are going around the corner, and if you are going a little bit too fast, the back steps out, right? And obviously you'll end up spinning out if you don't do anything. But if you do end up counter steering, so if you do pretty much what I've done before, if you counter steer, you straighten your car back up again, and obviously drive in a straight line. But now, since we are trying to go around this corner constantly sideways, try to add some power while you're counter steering, because then the back will step out, but then with the front you're basically catching it, and you're keeping the car at that angle, but with the rear end you're constantly sideways, so you're pushing the back end out more than the front end, getting your car to have a specific angle. Now what I'm talking about angle here is if I'm just driving around this, I'm technically in line right now with the inside line of the corner. So if I'm continuously like this, driving around the corner, then I'm, I guess, perpendicular to it, right? Or parallel to it, not perpendicular. I'm parallel to the actual inside line, which kind of sort of makes sense, I guess, at the very moment. But if I go ahead and I change to this angle, as you can see, I'm not really parallel to the inside line anymore. I'm at an angle to the inside of the actual thing. So when I'm talking about at an angle, this is what I'm sort of talking about. So if I go around, right, and I'll show you guys, once you get to a slide, you keep counter steering and you add power. That's it. That's all it is to it. And there you go. You're finally drifting. You're learning to drift. So as you can see, I'm not completely flooring it, right? Try to learn how to do this. Don't just stomp down on the throttle and then just expect it all to be fine. You can do that, right? As you can see what I'm doing right now. But what that means is you're actually trying to put a little bit more pressure on the rear wheels. As you can see, I'm also going wider and wider to try and compensate for that. And if I try to have less angle, then I'll end up going in and crashing. So when you're doing stuff like this, try to control your throttle, because it's much easier for you to learn like that instead of just mashing down on everything, right? So with the steering as well, actually, you know what? Let's just put these on, because then you guys can see. You guys can see the throttle I'm putting down. You can see it's not always at 100%, and you can see my steering over at the top right. If you guys want to watch this over and over again, you can just sort of rewind in the video and you guys will be able to watch either my front wheels doing the work, or you can watch my steering at the top right doing the work. So, as you can see, I'm not mashing down on anything. I'm in control, nice and smooth. Don't have too high of an angle or don't have too low of an angle. You can mess around. Again, like I said, you can have a little bit lower of an angle, as you can see right now. But that just means that I have to put in less power. If I put more power in, right, then my wheels will spin out more. To compensate from going out of the corner more and more, I have to increase my angle of the car to the inside line. Right, now since this is on drift suspension, it's very, very easy to control that. But again, just play with the steering, right? Constantly counter steering. Play with the throttle. Again, don't mash everything down, because it's completely pointless if you do that. You won't learn how to control your throttle. And just keep doing rings like this. And then once you've finished, and once you've done a lot of these, try the transition. So then less power or no power, and then it'll end up pulling yourself in the opposite direction, and you'll end up going around this ring, right? Very, very simple. And again, just do the same thing, but you're doing it the other way around. And this, since this is a smaller ring, then again, you have to play with your throttle, you have to play with your steering. Again, don't mash anything down. And then when you've got that down, transition to the other side. And you guys can feel, right, when you're driving around, you guys will be able to feel how much steering or how much power you have to put down until the car actually straightens up, or until the car actually spins out. So again, this is all to do with practice. There's no reason for me to like just tell you do this and then you should immediately be able to do it. I know you won't immediately be able to do it, but if you go ahead and do this for long enough, you'll learn how the car works, you'll learn how to control the car, and it'll be very easy for you guys to learn how to add the specific amount of power that you need, or the specific amount of steering that you actually need to be able to control this. So as you can see, I'm not using my brakes at all. You can see my e-brake is still at 0%. My brake is at 0%. You don't need the clutch for doing stuff like this. It's very, very easy to just sort of drive around. Just try to get yourself in control of the car at all times. That's pretty much it. That is what you need to do here. It's just get yourself so you're constantly in control of the way the car drives, and just keep doing this. Just keep doing this. Again, like I said, if you have to slow down a lot, just literally lift off. Control your car with the steering. Again, counter steer, just so your car is constantly at an angle. And it's very, very simple to just learn how to drift like that. Now whenever you guys see me do any sort of drifting for drift zones, you guys will see me entering these corners using my handbrake. So why do I do that? What's the point of me entering these corners using my handbrake only? So if I go to a drift zone really quick, we'll do this one because it's just nice and easy and it's just here. Because I use the handbrake to enter these corners, I have the angle already set, right? So I set my angle before I enter the corner. If I go ahead, right, I can flick myself in if I really want to, and I'll explain this as well. So I have a bit of speed here. I can do this, right? And I can flick myself into the corner, but it's a little bit more difficult because I have to time all that and do all that sort of stuff. But if I'm already coming into a corner, let me rewind and I'll show you guys again. If I'm already coming into a corner with my handbrake already on, now obviously think about it like this. If you're sideways already and you're using your handbrake, your car will slow down. So you need more speed when you're entering these corners. But if I come into the corner, right, and I'm already sideways, right, I'm still holding my handbrake down, by the way, as you can see with my rear wheels. But if I come in already sideways, then I sort of utilize, or I maximize the amount of points that I can actually get when I'm in that corner, because I'm already sideways, I'm already technically drifting before I'm even entered into the corner, or even not the corner, but like the actual drift zone itself. That's why whenever I do that, I enter the corner sideways by using my handbrake instead of just, like I said, just doing this. This is called manji, right? Where you just go back and forth. Where you go back and forth, sliding. Again, you can do this, it does work. But again, you have to position yourself, and like I said, you're still gonna end up using more than enough times. You will end up using your handbrake for some of these corners. Now, you can extend your corner or you can extend your slide, not your corner. You can extend your slide by using your handbrake a little bit. Now, if you are playing with just manual and not manual clutch, in rear-wheel drive cars, your car will automatically go into neutral when your handbrake is pressed in. So right now, my handbrake is pressed in. I am in neutral right now, right? So as you can see, I can accelerate freely, but my car isn't moving anywhere. Not because my brake is on, but because my car is technically in neutral as well. So if I go ahead and I'll show you guys now. I'll bring the telemetry back up again so you guys can see when I have my e-brake pressed in. So whenever I have my e-brake pressed in, I can accelerate. I don't know how to... Okay, try to see if you can pay attention to my e-brake, but also my throttle as well whenever I'm doing this. And because I have my e-brake pressed in, you guys will see my clutch being pressed in as well. You see it, it's at 100%, both of them are at 100%. And now my throttle is also at 100% because I can do all three at the same time. They just work, right? Obviously, when you have your handbrake in, if you don't obviously press the clutch in, your car will end up slow down and you will end up stalling, right? It makes sense. That's why your clutch is also pressed in. So whenever you guys see me again enter a corner with my handbrake on, and you guys see me accelerating, that doesn't mean I'm playing with manual clutch. It's just automatically your clutch gets pressed in once you're playing or once you're applying the e-brake, because obviously it doesn't want to make your car stall. So that's pretty much how that works. So when I'm talking about extending my slide is if I do this, and if I come in, if you guys have seen it's really hard to explain when I'm not doing it properly. So is there a corner I can do it at? Something long, right? So like a nice long corner that I've done in the past. And this one, right? This one, which is mostly just a straight line here. So if I do this, if I come down onto this section here, I'll show you guys really quick here. So I need a lot of speed for this corner, right? Because the first part of it isn't really a corner, it's just more of a straight line. It's more straight than anything else, as you can see here. If I go to this bit here, this is like the only very first corner that you get to, which is this one right here. Most of this is fairly straight here. There's not really a lot that you can do there to get points unless you have a really fast car. And you guys, if you guys have seen the video that I've done top 1000 on this, then you guys will know. So if I go really fast, right, handbrake in, already sideways, I get all the points that I need to get. Now if I want to go ahead and extend my slide, like let's say right now, see, I'm not gonna make it around this corner. If I accelerate, right, I will end up sort of blipping my throttle. So if I go ahead right now, full throttle, and then I let go of my handbrake, you guys will be able to see that I can initiate my wheels to spin very quickly instead of the wheels starting off pretty much at the speed that they were going like now, at like whatever it is, like 70 miles an hour. Let's say I'm drifting right now, they're around like 70 miles per hour, while my car is sliding, right? Because the speed at the bottom right, it isn't the speed of your wheels, it is the speed of the GPS technically. So it doesn't really show proper true wheel speed. So if I go ahead, right now my wheels are spinning a lot fast. Oh wait, I think I can show that as well. So if I go into there we go, that's perfect. So now you guys will be able to see that my rear wheels, right, or all my wheels right now, technically you'll be able to see that my front wheels are spinning at 100 miles per hour while my rear wheels are spinning at 150 miles per hour. I like these. The telemetry is perfect for this. It's so good. So you can see that my rear wheels spin faster, which makes perfect sense. They spin faster than my front wheels. That just means that I'm getting wheel spin for the rear wheels. That's exactly what needs to happen. So whenever I go ahead and I enter a corner and I have my handbrake pulled, right, obviously the rear wheel speed should be at 0, right? So if I pull my handbrake, there we go. Handbrake in. My front wheels are still spinning, you can see that, but my rear wheels were at 0. So whenever I do that, and I go ahead and I accelerate with the clutch pressed in, I have a lot of power, obviously, right, in that gear because I'm flooring it. And then when I let go of the handbrake and drop the clutch pretty much, you'll be able to see that my rear wheels start spinning a lot faster than if I was, let's say, to just do this, right, and then just accelerate. You know, they will eventually get to that speed, but if I already have the power already built up in my gear, and then I let go, drop the clutch, it will immediately like hit me with that power for the rear wheels, especially when I'm drifting, when I'm sliding, and will give me that extra oomph, I guess, to push myself out of the corner. So that's pretty much why you guys see me use my handbrake a lot more in some of these drift zones, is to either extend my slide or to enter a drift zone already sideways with already like a bunch of angles, so I already start getting points just the instant I cross those flags and I start with my drift zone. So yeah, That's all you guys need to know about drifting in Forza Horizon 4. It's very, very easy to say that it's easy for me, because obviously I've been doing it for years, but for people that have only started now, it makes sense for them to ask questions, and I'm happy to bring you guys this video. So if you guys have any questions, if you guys want to know anything, let me know down in the comments below. Ask me questions, I will answer you guys. I don't know what else to say. I think that's pretty much it. I've covered everything. So again, learn to control your car, turn off all of your assists except for ABS, you can keep that on, but turn off traction control, turn off stability control if you can in pretty much every video game. Do races with them, then you'll just know how to sort of control your cars a little bit better. You'll know how the physics of the game work, and it's much easier to just learn how to drift in general in video games if you just have your assists turned off all the time. It's much better. For the people that have requested this type of video, hopefully this video actually did help you guys. If it did, don't forget to show your support. Give this video a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos, all that sort of stuff. Just show your support, I guess. Yeah, again, hopefully this video helped at least one of you guys. I'll be happy if it helps at least one of you. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.